Oh, hello and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him. We're going to play another game of Idiot versus Insider. I'm the idiot. James is the insider.
I think I'm the idiot.
You have been the idiot so far this season. I'm beating
Turning it around. We're turning it around.
5-1. I am on a 5-game win streak. If this is your first time joining us on the channel, how it works: James presents us with a slate of games to bet on. He has bets. He doesn't tell me what the bets are. I get in the lab. I do my own little research. I come up with what I think is going to be the result of the game. He presents the pick. I can either agree with him, disagree with him, or pivot to a different pick in that game. And so far, with those stipulations, I have beat you 5-1 with your only winning week coming in week one when you had that insider information.
Stop the count.
We're not stopping the count. We're going to run it all the way. I think we're going to run through playoffs. I think we can keep this going through, through playoffs in the Super Bowl.
Pro Bowl. There's going to be a Pro Bowl week.
Pro Bowl bets.
That's my comeback week right there.
Of course. So what we are going to do today is the exact same. We do have some bonus props to tell you about. Was not my best week. I'm still plus money against the sports books. I'm obviously crushing James here so far this season, but I have a grievance to air.
Oh no.
And I have a grievance to air against I could air my grievances against the referees on Monday Night Football because that was the only thing that kept my streak from keep going.
Yeah.
Is the referees decided in a New York game. Interesting. A lot of mafia ties in that game. That the referees really got involved. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but I am going to dwell on
that Buffalo Mafia is really
that's what they say
in the deep pockets of the refs. They're just paying them in buffalo sauce,
buffalo sauce, and buffalo coins. Okay.
If you can get me one of those buffalo chains that Jason Kelce was wearing, I'll do anything.
Here's my grievance, James, against
what do you got?
Brilliant genius mind, Brian Dable.
Yeah,
in the game. So first of all, Chase Brown could have slid at the goal line, and I would have covered with 3.5. It would have been game over. Instead, he decides to run into the end zone, scores touchdown for his fantasy managers. Congratulations. Goes up 10 after the extra point. It's okay. Dan Jones has about 90 seconds to move the ball down the field, score a touchdown, with giving them enough time to score a field goal at the end. Brilliant mind, Brian Dable. Daniel Jones does that. Moves the ball down the field in literally 30 seconds. There's a minute left on the clock. Brilliant mind, Brian Dable. Instead of deciding to keep trying to score a touchdown after a spike, it's 2nd and 10. He decides, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick a field goal here with 60 seconds left. Misses the field goal after the Giants just moved the ball down the field really easily. Instead of covering, scoring a touchdown, don't care if you get the onside kick. Missed the field goal, missed the onside kick, obviously. Game over. Defend Brian Dable and this horrible decision-making, which honestly never makes sense to me. Why would you ever kick on second down?
Brian's a longtime listener of the podcast, and he saw my picks last week, and I called him, and I said, look, if you're going to play this game, I need you to win outright, or I need you to at least not cover this.
At least not cover.
And so he said, look, that makes a lot of sense. I got a phone call from him right after the game. He said, look, James, I appreciate it. You know, my idea here was kick a field goal, go for the onside kick, and then get a touchdown, hopefully tie this game, sent to overtime for you. Didn't happen. I appreciate it, the effort, Brian. We're going to come back, bounce back in this week. I believe in you as always. Yeah. Shout out to my homie, Brian.
Well, he definitely won you that side, but it wasn't enough to take the week from me. But with all seriousness, that whole, we need a field goal, we need a touchdown to the end of the game, never makes sense for me unless it's like 3rd and 15 or 4th down. Never made sense to me to be like, oh, let's just kick a field goal here and then we'll score a touchdown on the next drive. I don't know.
You need the onside kick either way.
You do need the onside kick out either way, but you need a touchdown either way. And the way I see it is if you're on the 35-yard line on 2nd down, if you feel like you have short time, just throw 2 free Hail Marys, right?
Yeah.
If they both fall to the ground incomplete, then you kick the field goal. You only lose 20 seconds off the clock as it is. And then you have to get the onside kick, and then you can get into field goal range. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to this slate. Love that you picked this game until I realized it was Thursday night, because I don't know if you're aware of this. Last week's lock of the week, which by the way, lock of the week still 3-2.
Yep, still positive.
So that's good news. But we lose lock of the week on Thursday night football last week. The week before, one of my only losing bets, I think we agreed on it. Thursday night football, we lose there again. So we are cold as ice on Thursday night football.
Flip it around.
And James is like, we're just going to go, just like you go back into the well with the Giants. And I feel like the Rams, we've gone to the well a couple of times, hasn't really paid off this season. James is going to keep on digging our hole a little bit deeper on Thursday night.
Yep.
And there's no way, I already know what your pick is on this game. There's no way we disagree on this one. Get your rattlers out. We have a QB rookie battle. Bo Nix versus Spencer Rattler. Broncos likely without Pat Surtain.
Yep.
So that'll help the young rookie on the Saints side of things.
But getting replaced by Alabama cornerback Levi Wallace.
Ooh,
so
I'm so scared.
Levi's a great cornerback. Shout out to Levi.
And the books are scared as well. Shout out to him. I'm just joking, Levi, obviously. Saints plus 2.
No, he's not. He hates you.
2.5 plus 2.5. The over-under. I love me some Alabama cornerbacks. If you want to talk to Alabama cornerbacks, I'll watch 2 of them play this weekend very, very closely in the absolute ass beating that the Lions handed out in Jerry World. Saw it live, saw it from the cheap seats, the all 22 angles, I like to call it, up there in Jerry World.
The
Anyways,
sky cam.
I love Alabama cornerbacks. I'm giving James a hard time here. Saints are plus 2.5, getting 2.5 points at home.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
Over under set to 37. Not so interesting. James, what do you have on this one?
I mean, shout out Spencer Rattler. Looked fantastic in that first half. Once he got behind in the points, they just blissed them all out, and that's never going to work for a rookie cornerback or quarterback. But I was pretty happy with how he started off here. I don't think Derek Carr starts again this week. I like the Saints here. I don't think anybody's going to be shocked about this.
Yep.
Derek Carr, they're saying he might be back. I hope he's not. I want Spencer Rattler. Give me New Orleans plus 105.
New Orleans plus 105. So you're taking the money line.
Absolutely.
You could probably get plus 105. You can probably get a little bit better now. You can't. That's because it's plus 2.5.
2.5 pretty low. 2.5 pretty low.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think 2.5 like minus 115, minus 120 right now.
Okay. So yes, Derek Carr's definitely going to be out.
Let's look.
Rashid Shaheed and Olave are, I think, definitely trending to be out for this game as well on the Saints side of things. I watched the all 22, every single pass that Spencer Rattler threw in last week's matchup. And boy, oh boy, was I impressed. He is way better than Bo Nix at this point.
The best
in his career. We're getting a home quarterback who's better than the opposing quarterback. So I already like where your head's at. So injury-wise, Saints are very, very banged up. Sounds like they might be getting an offensive lineman, an interior offensive lineman back, which is great news if you're back in the Saints here. I think Taysom Hill is going to be back for this game.
That's what we need.
And it's kind of like a cliche, right? But Bub Means is a second string kind of backup wide receiver on the team. But when you have a backup playing with the backup, sometimes their chemistry is a little bit better than the starters. So I'm not saying that's necessarily like an upgrade from Rashid Shaheed or Chris Olave in this instance.
Yeah.
But they have a little bit of familiarity. They're not going to be going up against Patrick Surtain, and that whole defense, that whole team really in Denver centers all around Patrick Surtain. Broncos revolve around Patrick Surtain. 9th best in EPA per pass defense this season. Last week against the Chargers, not a high-flying offense by any means.
No.
When Pat goes down early, 12th worst in that same metric out of 2018.
Wow.
So a little bit below average after you calculate in the bye week. So after they lose Pat Surtain, it's all downhill for the Broncos defense. Spencer Rattler, like I said, did look incredible. The 2 interceptions he threw, the first one I thought was actually a really accurate ball and actually a really good decision on his end. It's just his receiver got mossed by it was an absolute incredible play by the defender. His second interception, like you said, they were already down like 10 in the fourth quarter or whatever. Spencer's trying to push the ball downfield to the to the outer side. He had a check down in the middle. Maybe he didn't want the clock to run. He forces it to the outside. Not a great decision, obviously. Bad decision. Bad ball. His only real bad decision I saw on film all game. So Spencer Rattler, despite the stats, I think had actually a really, really solid performance up there with kind of like not as good as Jaden Daniels. He also looked big. Whenever I think of Spencer Rattler, and it's probably a lot of people think this, you always regress back to him as a high schooler on the Netflix series QB1, where he was like a little tiny, skinny little boy. And he's obviously, I mean, it's like whatever, 10 years in the future now.
Yeah.
He's big, he's beefy, he's athletic.
Hopefully he's matured a little bit.
Hopefully he's matured a little bit, I'd say, especially with how his college career has gone so far. He looked great in all aspects, and they totally changed the offense for him, which tells me I think Spencer Rattler is probably going to Wally Pip this situation. He's going to come in and take over the starting role. I don't think Derek Carr comes back because he's going to be out for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks from what I'm hearing with his oblique or whatever. And I think Spencer Rattler is just going to take over, especially if he wins this game like we're talking about right now. So with all that being said, uncharacteristic drops on the Saints too. Alvin Kamara had a couple like really bad ones that Spencer Rattler just put right in his numbers. There was a lot of drops on the Saints side. So again, when you watch the film and you actually grade the performance for Spencer Rattler, he played extremely well. So you do have some injuries on the Saints side. I think all of those injuries are calculated into this lineup. At the end of the day, I'm getting a better quarterback at home with points. Give it to me every time. I'm going to take Saints, but not the money line. I'm going to take them at 2.5, James. Moving on to the next game, Dolphins at Colts.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson definitely going to be back. We might get Jonathan Taylor back as we're sitting here recording on a Wednesday.
You sure about that?
Afternoon. I'm not
sure. You sure about that?
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that. What I am sure about is Tua is not coming back for this one.
Oh.
So that's big. Colts -3, over-under set to 44 football points. James, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, so this one pretty much comes down to both these teams suck.
Mm-hmm.
They suck hard.
Both of them.
30th and 31st in on offenses right now.
Yeah.
In that case, I think it's a coin flip. And I don't care how bad the Dolphins have been. I think the Colts have also been equally bad. Give me +150 Miami.
+150. That's a +150 bet coming out of James over here on the casting couch here in South Dallas. So that's where my knee-jerk reaction was I feel like when you first sent me this matchup and I looked into the spread of this game, I'm like, there's no way I'm not on Miami side of things. There's no way I'm not taking Miami at +3 in this game. But then I looked into it a little bit more. So first things first, Joe Flacco being out, definitely a downgrade for this Colts offense, the way they're playing right now. But that's already calculated into the line. Okay. No. That line moved from Colts. I think we're like -4 or -3.5 and moved down to 3 as of right now. So that's already calculated into the line, which I think is an appropriate move. Tyler Huntley is going to be the starting quarterback again for the Dolphins. How bad has Tyler Huntley been? He has played the Titans and the Patriots. The Titans are 7th best in EPA per pass defensively. So he played against one really, really pretty solid defense, not elite, but solid. And the Patriots are 24th in that same metric defensively. They didn't play very well against them. Off the top of my head, I think they scored 15 points against the Patriots in that game. But they did cover, and I bet the Dolphins on that game. So I'm going to throw that out there. Finishing my thought here, offensively, Dolphins have been 30th and 17th in EPA per pass with Tyler Huntley under center. So 30th against that good defense in the Titans, 17th in EPA per pass against that kind of very, very below average defense against the Patriots. Are slightly better at 22nd in EPA per pass defensively than the Patriots are. Getting a slightly better than the Patriots defense that Tyler Huntley is going to go up against. Offensively, so what does Anthony Richardson do well as a quarterback besides run the football? Is throw bombs. And they've got guys that throw bombs too, including Alec Pierce. The Dolphins, deep balls, 9th worst in EPA per pass defensively in balls that are over 20 air yards. Obviously, Anthony Richardson can throw those deep balls. So I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take the home favorite at -3 points. That's our first disagreement there, James.
That means bet the Colts, folks.
So that makes me nervous because I think we're going to agree here. If I know you, we're going to agree here later on.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't have a best bet on Thursday Night Football.
Or could we?
Just no, we can't.
Or could
we can't. We simply cannot.
You know what? Why don't we just turn it around this week?
No. Well, we might on Thursday night, but that can't be our best bet.
I think this one will be our best bet.
Next game up, Chiefs at 49ers. Chiefs coming off of a bye. 49ers coming off of like a mini bye on a Thursday night. The 49ers are -135. The over-under is set to 47 football points, James.
That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. These are explosive offenses. We've seen Travis and Kelsey hanging out at some baseball games because I know you love baseball references on the podcast.
Love baseball references. Love with his lady.
Had to bring it up.
And the Guardians game.
If you look at these teams, statistically, they're both even in terms of power rankings.
Yep.
But if you look at strength of schedule, Niners have played nobody. Nobody good at all. So this is a test for them. This is their fraud or reality test.
Yeah, and the 49ers have dropped some games to some questionable characters, including the Cardinals.
Yes,
so far.
And if that tells me anything, if the Niners were a gold chain that I'd bought off of eBay, it would leave a little green ring around my neck if I wore it. I think they're frauds, unfortunately, for all you Niners fans out there. I think the Chiefs are once again legit, and we've got Chiefs plus money.
Yeah.
Plus 105 Chiefs. Lock that in.
So you didn't even bring up the most important part of this, but going back to, I think their most impressive game so far, the 49ers, is a week 2 matchup where they lose by 6 points to the Vikings. That's the most impressive game they've had. They lose one to the Rams as well after that. Yep. They beat the Patriots, who are just dog poop.
Woo.
And then the Seahawks 36-24. So they beat the Seahawks last week. In week 6.
What does the last 5 games say for the Chiefs? Is that just W,
including a game against the Ravens in week 1. So they're doing pretty well. They beat the Chargers, beat the Saints, beat the Falcons, beat the Bengals. None of those teams stink, right? Some of those teams aren't great, but none of those teams absolutely stink.
No.
Here, the most important thing. So matchup wise, we'll get into it in a second. They are extremely even. Most important thing you missed, James, is Andy Reid off the bye.
Oh,
I don't know if you're aware of this. Andy Reid off the bye in his career as a head coach, 21-3.
Wow,
straight up. And I assume half of those are on the road. Just a guess. I don't know. He approaches it and he gives times off. Like you said, we saw Travis Kelsey at the Guardians game, hanging out with his lady, relaxing, not chugging a bunch of beers.
No, got to stay in shape.
So he's staying in shape, which is honestly not necessarily what he does every bye week, but his lady's keeping him healthy, keeping him fit. And the only person who's working for the Chiefs during these bye weeks is Andy Reid. He gives everybody a week off, and he's like, hey, I'm going to stay in the lab.
With my Hawaiian shirt on.
And I'm going to draw up some fancy plays.
I'm going to get cheeseburger.
Rashee Rice is out for the season, so we do have to calculate that in. This is obviously a part of the line. Travis Kelsey, like we said, is stepping up. He's not even drinking beer at a baseball game where he's hanging out with his lady in the bye week. And I know we all expect the rookie wide receiver bump to come after the bye. There's always like a rookie wide receiver bump that comes after the bye week. And I feel like we are not even calculating that into this game because what we've seen from Xavier Worthy just in week 1, where he scored like 2 touchdowns, right? Yeah. He's been playing really, really well, but he hasn't really totally taken that next step. What if he does?
He absolutely could. And, you just mentioned it with Andy Reid with an off week.
Mm-hmm.
He can design a lot of plays for him.
A lot of plays around Xavier Worthy. And, he's been missed deep a few times. It's not going to take much to get those two, Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy, on the same thing. So I just bring that up like, hey, this could be a big advantage here for the Chiefs.
Huge.
Like you said, matchup-wise, they're extremely similar EPA per play on offense, 5th versus 8th, 49ers and Chiefs. EPA on defense, 11th versus 12th, 49ers and Chiefs. It is a 49ers home game, which is also obviously calculated into this spread. So I'm going to agree with you. What did you get this money line at?
Plus 105.
Plus 105. I have it here at 102. I'm sure you can shop that around and find plus 105. I'm going to take the Chiefs money line at plus 105. Any read off of a buy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, James.
So simple.
Moving on.
It's so simple.
So simple. To our next game here. Ravens and Buccaneers, the first of the Monday night doubleheader. Spoiler alert, you've got 2 bets.
We do on Monday night.
On Monday night.
Monday night.
1 on each game. I like the bet on this one. Hate that you made me bet the LA Arizona game.
I just want to throw at least one game every week that I know you're going to hate.
So
one of these weeks I'm going to pick all the ones that I know you just don't want to bet on.
So we'll get to that here in a second. The Buccaneers are 3.5 point dogs, getting 3.5 points at home.
Yeah.
Against the Ravens. The over-under set to 48.5. James, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, so both these teams fairly even on the defensive metrics. The main thing you really got to focus on here, Ravens, 4th best offense, and the Buccaneers, 20th best offense.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything we've seen over the last week, it's that they're starting to figure out the whole Derrick Henry situation. Week 1, everyone's saying, what's going on with Derrick Henry?
11 carries.
Absolute mayhem. Now he's just showing, exactly what he can be in this offense.
Yep.
Power punch in the end of the game. Somebody who's going to seal games for you. And as Boston tries to steal the mic because he's got something to say about this, he says he's got that dog in him, and that's what's going to lead him to a victory here. I like the Ravens at minus 3.5. I think they're going to come out with an early lead. And I think you're just going to see them absolutely just run the ball and totally run it down the Buccaneers' throat. It's not going to end well for them. Okay. I think it'll be a big blowout.
So that is a concern for this game. And that was the only thing that actually kept me off of the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Because I was like, I kind of want to bet the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield
at plus money
at home getting points. Like my Baker Mayfield senses are tingling. But
you and Spider-Man
it got me off it because of the running, right? Vita Vea has been in and out of the lineup. Obviously, when Vita Vea is in, it's going to help their run stopping ability. But overall, throughout the season, the Buccaneers have really struggled, surprisingly so, to stop the run. The Ravens. So I'm like, okay, maybe I bet the Ravens here. Ravens defense on the road, 6th worst in EPA per play. So we all know the Ravens home field advantage is elite. They have a loud stadium, and that's obviously going to be a benefit to
they've
defense.
got people who will just beat people up in the street after games. No wonder there's a home field advantage.
Anyways.
He's already been fired.
He's already been fired. On his way to jail, if I had to guess.
Felony attempt at murder is what they're going to charge him.
I don't blame him. That was disgusting.
That was crazy.
That was disgusting.
I've never seen anything.
He's like, oh man, hey, get your camera out. Show that was his buddy following him. That was crazy. I'm gonna punch these guys in the face. Yeah,
I've never seen karma go so quickly. That thing got
hilarious.
posted, and then within an hour they doxed him, and he was done.
Oh, dude. I less than an hour. It was like 30 seconds. They were like, this is the guy. I'm sure whoever was on Twitter was like, this guy, I hate him.
Yeah.
And I will be able to dox him at some point. Happen right away.
Reverse Google image search probably is the key there.
Very quickly, very efficiently is how it works. So anyways, the Ravens opponents on those 3 road games so far where they sucked, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals.
Yeah.
So 2, I would say, above average offenses. Chiefs haven't been elite on offense. Bengals, I guess you could say we're elite on offense, but a lot of that production is going to have to do with them playing from way, way behind all season because their defense is horrible. Talking about the Bengals, Cowboys at home, that's embarrassing. If you give
that was bad.
If you give points to the Cowboys at home, that I don't know what to tell you. That's not a good look. So anyways, that for the Ravens doesn't look very good. Ravens offense on the road, though, 2nd best in EPA per play. So they're able to play well on the road. At home, offensively, obviously, they're one of the best offensive teams in the league. Bucs offense is 9th in EPA per play. So above average offense, obviously, with Baker Mayfield at the helm. And they get unlocked by a Rachaad White injury. Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker are far superior athletes Bucks defense, kind of middle of the pack in EPA per play overall. So they're not going to be able to stop these Ravens. I think you know where I'm heading here. Ravens and Commanders covered last week. We looked at that spread and they're like, this spread is like 10 points too low.
Yep.
And in that game, there was, I think, at least one red zone turnover. There was, I think, at least one missed field goal by the Commanders at the end of the first half. So 7 points left on the board. They still easily cover.
Yep.
That over. So over 48.5. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Give me that over. So I'm going to pivot off of your Ravens pick, which I don't like betting against Baker Mayfield at the home with points, but good luck with it. I mean, obviously the Ravens are a juggernaut, which is why I didn't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second Monday night football game. The Chargers are at
the more exciting of the two, if you ask anyone. I think everyone's in total agreement that this is the game that they have main screen.
Yeah, everyone's highlighting this one, or you just got that split screen if you got the YouTube.
No, you just picture the other game for this one. Just
Sunday package.
Make sure this one's on the largest screen.
Have
possible.
it on. Have the other one on your laptop. Marvin Harrison likely out.
Put it on your iPod Shuffle.
Marvin, probably out for this one. Cardinals are getting 2.5 points at home against the Chargers. The over set it to 44 football points. James?
Yeah. So I thought I liked the Cardinals. And then I dived into it more. And I said, statistically, the Cardinals defense, 32nd in the league.
Not good.
The dead last team.
Not good, Bob.
And now they've got their best weapon gone.
Not good, Bob.
Against a team coached by a man who liked to cheat and should have his national championship removed.
Yep.
But that guy likes to run the ball,
I'd say.
And I think they can easily get a couple touchdowns on the ground and just seal this game out easy. Just like I said with the Ravens, the run game is just going to seal these games for them. I like the Chargers, and I like them at -2.5.
Love it. So yeah, me too. You know me. I love home underdogs.
Who doesn't?
Tough to get me off them a lot of times. So mobile quarterback. The Chargers played Justin Fields in a football game. They lost 20-10. I think we all know that has a lot more to do with the Steelers defense than the mobile quarterback. Obviously, Kyler Murray upgrade. Receiving for the Cardinals downgrade, I would say.
Unless Rondale Moore looks like he was at Purdue all of a sudden.
Yeah, at least versus the Steelers. So a little bit of a net neutral there. EPA per play on defense for the Chargers are 5th best versus the Cardinals are 29th best.
Yeah.
Some also would call that 3rd worst by my quick math in my head.
We're using different statistical websites.
Yeah, I'm going off of EPA per play.
NFL plus PFF. Yeah. NFL plus PFF.
Okay, so all of your grades are off of PFF. I love that. That's actually pretty cool. Cardinals 27th in EPA per run on the defense as well. So one of the worst against the run, like you said. J.K. Dobbins. They have, however, faced a good amount of solid running teams, including the Lions, right? So that's going to skew the statistics a little bit in their direction or away from their direction. EPA per play on offense. Chargers are 23rd and the Cardinals are 15th. You lose Marvin Harrison. What happens to your offense? Last week when they lost Marvin Harrison, Cardinals were 25th in EPA per play in week 6 on offense. So that is actually worse than the Chargers. And that's 25th in week 6 where there was only 28 teams that played.
Yeah.
So that's not good, Bob. Against Packers, who are, above average, good defense, but not world beaters by any means. We're talking about the Cardinals-Packers game last week. Short flight for the Chargers. I looked it up. It's like an hour and 27 minutes or something like that. So
when you fly private, it's 50.
No real concerns. No real concerns there. The Chargers statistically in their running game, actually not great this season, but you have to kind of calculate in the first couple of weeks where Gus Bus, the Goose Boost, was the lead back in the backfield. They just ran the piss out of J.K. Dobbins last week, and they have been doing that. I would expect them to do the same.
Think we see some Blake Corum snaps?
some Blake Corum snaps for nope, because Blake Corum's not on this game. You're thinking of
the other Los Angeles team.
The other Los Angeles team. You're thinking.
I was testing Jamie to make sure he was paying attention.
You were testing me. You're thinking of not friend of the podcast, Kamani Vidal.
Yes, that was the name that was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't get it out in time.
Yeah, you're thinking of
Kamani Vidal.
Kamani Vidal. No, he stinks. Anyways,
start J.K. Dobbins this week.
I don't want to get into it, but Kamani Vidal stands are the scum of the earth.
Wow.
The worst human beings imaginable. And they will victory dance on you based off a one-wheel route that Kamani Vidal ran. And they'll entirely ignore the fact that he had 4 carries for an average of like 1.2 yards per carry that game versus J.K. Dobbins is like 28 carries for.
Nah, bro, you're holding that L for sure.
Yeah, I'm holding that L big time on this podcast. Anyways, you make one short that talks about Kamani Vidal sucking in 60 days ago, and all these Kamani Vidal stands get into your comment section after not even commenting on it in the first. Anyways.
Wow.
Chargers.
I unlocked something great there. You're welcome.
-2.5. I think they're going to be able to run the football. I think the Cardinals are really going to struggle offensively. Minus Marvin Harrison. The statistics kind of show that Chargers should win this game. I get it. It's on the road, but short flight. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So let's do our lock of the week, and then we'll give you some bonus player future props here at the end.
What's going to be the lock
of the program?
We're clearly between the Chiefs and Chargers because we can't pick Thursday night.
I agree. We can't pick Thursday night. Why would you in the first place? I think this is an easy one, James. Andy Reid off a bye.
Yep. Lock it in.
Andy Reid off a bye. Money line.
Yep.
I'm in for the money line in this one too. So that's
plus money. Come on.
That's some plus money. Lock of the week for you guys at home. You're welcome. Okay. So that was easy. A lot easier than last week. Props. So you actually brought this to my attention in our first early preseason gambling pod.
Yep.
Nick Chubb. I sent you a number that actually wasn't available.
Okay.
And I'm wondering because I saw it on Vegas Insider that I think it was either FanDuel or DraftKings was giving Nick Chubb comeback player of the year at plus 2,200. That's not the case.
No.
The best we could find now is plus 1,200. I think you recommended it on the podcast.
I did.
Like plus 15.
I'll see what I grabbed it at.
Is I think what you recommended it at. We're going to double down on that.
Oh, yeah.
And here's why, James. Nick Chubb's coming back. Who are his kind of people who are competing against him?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, who's gifted, another Devontae Adams run here.
Yeah.
So that'll help Aaron Rodgers. With that being said, they're still really going to struggle making the playoffs this season. Nick Chubb, they just
DeMar Hamlin, if he figures out how to play defense, I guess.
Well, yeah, he's been playing all right, but I think he should rightfully win it this year.
Kirk Cousins?
No, not going to be Kirk.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins could be J.K.
J.K.'s got a chance.
That's a good one. J.K. Dobbins is a good one, although he got off to a really hot start. It's been kind of slow sledding lately.
Anthony Richardson's already out again.
Anthony Richardson, nope.
So,
yeah. So out of all those guys, Nick Chubb, opportunity-wise, they're going to be forced to feed him the football, whether they like to or not. Jerome Ford's out with a hamstring for who knows how long. They just ship off Amari Cooper. Yep. The offense has been horrible without him. What if they win half of their games for the rest of the season by just pounding the ball with Nick Chubb? Or, God willing, he gets traded to some other competent organization.
Oh, man.
That would be ideal. If you're asking me.
You know who needs a running back?
And who?
The Chiefs. Could you imagine Nick Chubb on the Chiefs?
That would be sweet. That would make sense. But I think they're getting.
I don't think that's
they're getting.
I don't think that's a real possibility.
His name's escaping me. Isaiah Pacheco. They're getting him back soon.
Yeah, he should be.
He's coming off of IR soon. I think he's already kind of in that practice window.
But in my small little James Dream window, Nick Chubb on the Chiefs would be crazy.
Nick Chubb on the Chiefs would be hilarious. Oh, he'd be back there with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Right?
That's reuniting punch.
Reuniting with his former teammate Kareem Hunt. I think Nick Chubb's the exception to the rule. You never want to bet on guys' multi-ligament knee injuries, but I mean, he was moving well, squatting heavy.
Yeah.
The strength is still going to be there. The opportunity now is
he's a dude.
Is going to be forced upon him. He's obviously a dude. So getting him here at +1 or +1,200, 12-1 odds.
Yeah, I got him at +1,400 at the start of the year. So
if my math is correct, throw $5 on it.
Yeah, double down.
See what happens. Moving on to
$1,000
or $1,000. What would that pay out to? 12,000.
12,000.
Okay, yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Gamble responsibly.
Get $1,000 for every month of the year.
On the college side of things, this is me my first ever college recommendation into a microphone.
I love that this is our little, this is the gateway to college football gambling, because then this is going to get really insider versus idiot.
No, I would never go against you in college gambling, and that's that for a lot of reasons. That's obvious. Okay, Ashton Jeanty, plays at 11 p.m. start time on the Eastern Seaboard. He is unbelievable. He is actually ahead of Barry Sanders's last year in college pace as a running back. And he is currently the favorite at +230. I'm going to go ahead and say grab it now, because it's going to be minus 300 in 2 weeks. It's going to be a lock. The only thing that will, knocking on wood here, this is real wood that I'm knocking on, will keep him from winning the Heisman, I know you disagree with this, is an injury. His best opponent against the run is next week against UNLV. They're ranked 21 in yards per game rushing as a defense. After that, it is smooth sailing for him. I think the next best rank is like in the 30s, and then it's like teams in like the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Don't attack the Mountain West Conference like that.
Ooh, hey, that's just the stats. I'm just telling him, okay? He's going to put up so many statistics. He's going to put up so many numbers. If he stays healthy, which he's so strong, and he's so fluid, and he's got great balance. He never really, still knocking on wood here, finds himself in any really sketchy situations.
Yeah.
It is as low as it is because he plays for Boise State, which obviously blue turf looks disgusting still. It was fun for like a year and a half, but I'm over it. It
was fun when Kellen Moore was there.
Exactly. They're going to win a lot of games. They're probably going to go undefeated this year. I think they're going to go undefeated this year. They're undefeated right now, Boise State. And, I don't think the college football playoff is going to calculate into the Heisman hunt. Is that correct? Is that correct, James?
You need to be at least within the hunt team to get it.
Well, they're going to make it to the college football playoff is what I'm saying. But those games aren't going to be calculated into the Heisman race.
Oh,
he's the best running back prospect I've ever seen. And, we recently have seen Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. He's way better than Saquon. He's unbelievable. And his strength of schedule moving forward is going to bode well for his statistics. And a lot of people are going to be sleeping, and they're just going to turn on those highlights every single morning. That's what every single Sunday morning football program starts with, is like, hey, I know we got a great Sunday slate of football games.
Yeah.
Let me show you what Ashton Jeanty did last night. So I'm going to recommend Jeanty at +230. Grab it now, because you'll never be able to get it again. It's easy money. And that's my college football lock of the year. Bet it. James, who do you got?
Yeah, so a couple statistics to throw at you here. Last winner of the Heisman Trophy to be favorited at this point in the year, Lamar Jackson.
So that's good, right?
It's good, but it's only happened once in the last 12 years.
Okay.
So betting a favorite now usually doesn't pan out. Can you name the last G5 Heisman winner?
No, obviously.
Well, I can't either, because I'm on 1998 and I still can't find one.
I don't care.
BYU in 1990, Ty Detmer
Okay.
was the last G5 Heisman winner.
Okay.
It's a media award. And being on the West Coast is probably the biggest disadvantage when it comes to the Heisman race.
Okay. And I'm going to cut in here. Sorry to interrupt you, but
fire away.
I know who Ashton Jeanty is.
Right. I know that you know. The problem is you don't get a vote.
I don't get a vote, but I don't follow.
Boston says give him a vote.
I don't follow college football that closely, and I know who he is, and he plays for Boise State. So there is media behind him. James.
Well, there could be media behind him, but the problem is the Heisman voters are old school media guys.
Yeah.
Former winners. A lot of those former winners are old. They're not getting
past their bedtime.
They're not watching games with Boise State.
They know, though. They don't need.
They can know all they want. The problem that we have is there's a man named Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Who's starting in front of
2-3 games this season.
He's missed 2 or 3 games, but
that's going
he's about to be able to beat Georgia at home.
Yeah.
He's also going to have potentially Texas A&M undefeated matchup to end the season.
Yeah.
Then he would have the SEC championship game.
Yeah. Got college game day coming in this week.
If you're a quarterback that wins those 3 games, it's the same thing that happened with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow beat Texas at home. He went on to beat Alabama on the road. He went on to win the SEC championship and was the quarterback for that team.
Yep.
If you're the quarterback for the number 1 team in the nation, you just have a distinct advantage. And Quinn Ewers right now, plus 2,200.
Yep.
Plus 2,200. So that would be my bet right now if I had to bet on somebody. I don't disagree with you that Genty is the best player in the. I don't disagree with you that he's the best player in college football.
Here's the thing, we can agree to agree here.
Yeah.
Because you take both of these, one of them win, you're ahead.
Yeah.
Put 1 unit on each. You win with Genty. That's plus 2.3 units.
Yeah.
You win with Ewers. That's plus 22 units.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. Well, minus 1 unit. So you
1.3 and 21.
Yep. So lock in.
If you bet $1 million,
lock in your profit. Yeah, you're up 30 grand or whatever if Genty wins. Cool. So that's that. I like where your head's at with Ewers, and like you said, if he goes ahead and beats Georgia, that's a Heisman winning performance there, if you ask me.
Yeah.
With that being said, I don't know much about college football, but I know that Georgia's a pretty good football club, and that's not going to be an easy win for an amazing Texas team.
Yeah,
I have to admit. James, thank you for being on. As always, is an NFL insider. Isn't a public figure. My mother actually is now getting in the insider game in Detroit. Yeah, she's got some. So I'm a Dearborn Divine Child Falcon, just like Aiden Hutchinson. We were getting some inside scoops.
Oh, on the Tibbs and Fibs.
Yeah, on the Tibbs and the Fibs
for
the Aiden Hutchinson injury. In a lot of pain still, which doesn't ever get talked about. Yeah, you always just hear about successful surgery. He'll be back next year. And that's the end of the report. They never have like the human aspect of like, hey, he's in pretty bad shape. So thoughts and prayers going out to Mr. Aiden Hutchinson, once Falcon, always Falcon. Our Lady of Good Counsel Crusader as well.
Say that 5 times
Plymouth.
fast.
So some say I paved the road for Aiden Hutchinson in football.
You taught him the 3 technique from what I heard.
Well, I didn't teach him personally, but I paved the path.
Well, he was watching your game tape in high school because they were like, this is Jamie Jakes.
Yeah.
Best 3 technique we ever seen. Aiden was like, whoa.
I was actually 0 technique. Yeah. I was nose tackle and
a Vita Vea of his time.
Well, I would have been the Vita Vea of my time, but I was also like 135 pounds in high school. So like I said, I crawled so Aiden could fly, and it probably
35-pound nose tackle.
Let's just say the coaching staff that I was subject to, like I said, I paved the path. Mazarang was our head coach. That guy. Okay.
Wow.
I don't like him. Mark Hunt, which is actually was his name.
Was Mike Hawk the defensive coordinator?
No, I wish. Coach Hunt was our linebacker, D-line, O-line coach. I hate that guy. I'll never forget how much.
It's on site, Mike.
It really is. And he's probably like 70 years old at this point, but screw you.
Come out of the retirement home. Throwing hands in the parking lot.
I hate that guy.
I bet you smell like macaroni and diapers.
Aiden didn't have to play with those guys. Thank you guys for anything to tell the audience, James?
No.
Are you turning it around? Probably not.
No, I'm doing that. I'm turning it around. I'm doing a J turn right now.
Okay. I'm winning 5-0. We only disagreed on a couple of bets this week. So
I know. Now that I'm actually looking at statistics, this might go better.
Yeah.
not going off vibes anymore.
I'm really forcing you to step your game up. We're gonna get the PFF.
I know. I miss the vibe.
NFL Pro. Thank you for being on, buddy. We'll see how it goes next week. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll always leave in the comment section how we did each week. I did have my first losing week in 4 weeks against the sportsbooks. Last week I was 2-3. It was just one game under. So that Monday Night Football game hurt extra hard for me. Speaking of which, we do these live streams. So if you want to see us sweat out these bets live on camera, you could definitely do that as well. Please leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment if you liked it. Subscribe if you liked it. If you didn't like it, leave a comment. Tell us why you hate us and share it with your enemy.
Send it to Mike.
Send it to Mike. My name is Jamie Jakes for NFL Insider James. Thank you. See you next time.